grandfather placed a coin above the door frame of the house he built for love of a woman and a life he meant to keep inside those walls, through waking and through sleep. A coin from the year that he was born, he said. A man should mark his house before he's dead. Keep placing. Some houses need a coin before they're home. The coin stayed in the plaster through the years, through 3 generations and the tears of every renovation, every change. A wallpaper of kitchen, of the range, of small decisions that a house requires. Through the dampening and through the fires of winter, nobody removed it from the groove above the door. It had become part of the architecture of the place. The coin is pulling me under. I can hear the door frame thunder, placed above the entrance in the year that he was born. So something of him here would stay above the coming and the going. Coin, door, year, place. Coin, door, year, place. Coin, door, year, place, place. Coin, door, year, place, place. Coin, door, year, place, place. Coin door, year, place. Coin door, year, place. Press, stay, press, no. Coin door, press, stay, press, no. Coin, press, stay, press, no. Coin. When we sold our house, we took the coin out, stood on a chair and dug around about the plaster until the edge of it appeared. A coin so green with age it had adhered to the wall itself. We chipped it free and held it in the kitchen. All the we who were there that day and felt the weight of something placed above a door. The great grandfather none of us had ever met. They say the dead release the homes they marked, but that coin held its year above the door for 90 years. I do not need the house to still be ours. I only need the coin in someone's hand above a door. Above a door. Trust the year he was born. My great grandfather placed a coin up the door frame of the house he built for love, for pressing his birth year into the plaster, building something meant to outlast disaster. We chipped it free the day we sold the place. 4 generations holding it in that small space. Leave your mark, we are still placing coins. The door frame is still his, the groove is still there. The plaster remembers every year it held that coin. Father took me out on a Tuesday night to an empty car park in the orange light of sodium lamps and put me in the seat. Said the wheel is just a conversation with the street. Said you ask it where it wants to go, and it will tell you everything you need to know, keep asking. Some lessons only come at night in empty places. I started twice and killed the lights by mistake. Took a corner wide enough to make him reach instinctively across the space between us for a wheel that was not his place anymore. He pulled his hand back slow, said, "You have it," said, "the car will know." When the hands upon it trust themselves, he sat beside me quiet while I found the shells of confidence inside the dark. The car park was pulling me under. I can hear the engine thunder. He sat beside me while I found the feel of something heavy answering the wheel. Drive for me in the orange light. Car wheel night, learn. Car wheel night, learn. Car wheel wheel night night. 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 Car wheel night learn. Car wheel night learn. Stall, fine, stall, no. But my father came back in an empty car park Tuesday night.
I do not need the lesson to be different.
I only need my daughter stalling in the orange light. Stalling in the orange light. Trust the empty car park. My father took me out on a Tuesday night to an empty car park in the orange light, teaching me to ask the wheel the way he had been asked himself some other day. Oh, I sat beside my daughter while she found the conversation with the ground. Leave your mark, we are still learning. The car park is still orange. The wheel is still his lesson. The night remembers every stall that led to driving. My grandfather kept a drawer of rubber bands, collected over decades with both hands. Every band that came into the house, he saved it silent, careful as a mouse. Around a newspaper, around a bill, around a bunch of carrots from the hill. Keep saving. Some collections make sense only after we laughed about it as his family does, about the small peculiarities because they seem so harmless and so innocent. A drawer of rubber bands, what could it meant? But after he was gone and we pulled it out, 300 rubber bands or thereabout lay tangled in the drawer.
drawer.
Ben drawer, safe, keep, and ben drawer, safe, keep, and ben drawer, safe, safe, keep, keep.
Ben drawer.
Drawer, drawer, safe, keep, and ben drawer.
Ben drawer.
Ben drawer, drawer, safe, keep, keep, keep.
Ben drawer. Safe, keep. Ben drawer. Ben drawer. Safe, keep.
Stretch, hold, stretch, no.
Ben drawer. Safe, keep. Ben drawer. Safe, keep.
Stretch, hold, stretch, known. My mother uses them still from that drawer. Reaches in for one and finds she saw his hand reaching in before her every time. A rubber band becomes a small sublime connection to the man who could not waste a single one of them, who found a taste of usefulness in everything that came through the door, and bore his particular claim on things the world considered disposable. They say the dead
Release the things they gather.
but that drawer held
The 300 bands and counting.
I do not need.
Understand the saving.
I only need
Mother
reaching in,
and finding one.
reaching in.
And finding one.
Trust the rubber band. My grandfather kept a drawer of rubber bands, collected over decades with both hands, saving everyone that crossed his door, finding use in what the world threw on the floor. My mother reaches in and takes one out, using what he saved without a doubt. Leave your mark.
We are still saving.
The drawer is still full, the bands are still his. The drawer remembers every hand that could not waste a thing. When I was young, my father read to me from a chair beside the lamp, and I could see his shadow on the bedroom wall behind, a shape so large it filled the entire blind expanse of plaster with the weight of him, a giant in the lamplight at the rim. Keep reading. Some shadows are the shape of safety. I would fall asleep before the chapter ended, his voice still going somewhere recommended by the story, and I'd wake to dark. The lamp switched off, the shadow gone, the mark of him still somehow in the air above. The bed, the particular weight of love that asks for nothing back, just reads until the child is gone to sleep and then sits still. The shadow is pulling me under. I can hear the lamplight thunder. He read until my breathing slowed, and then he sat there in the dark and read again. Read for me against the wall tonight. Shadow, lamp, wall, read. Shadow, lamp, wall. Shadow, lamp, wall, read. Shadow, lamp, wall, read. Shadow, lamp, wall. Shadow, lamp, wall, read. Shadow, shadow. Light, feel light, no. Shadow, lamp. I read to my own children now at night, from a chair beside a lamp and in the light. I catch my shadow on their bedroom wall, and stop mid-sentence in the sudden fall of recognition, something in the size of it against the plaster and the rise of their breathing as they go to sleep. The shadow mine now is now mine to keep. They say the dead release the rooms they filled with light, but my father left his shadow in the plaster. I do not need the chapter to be finished. I only need the lamp on and the shadow on the wall. Shadow on the wall. Trust the lamp light. When I was young, my father read to me from a chair beside the lamp, and I could see his shadow filling up the bedroom wall. The largest, safest thing I can recall. I cast my shadow on my children's wall tonight, reading from the chair in the same light. Leave your mark, we are still reading. The lamp is still warm, the shadow is still his. The wall remembers every night it held that shade. Sorry, Carrie. My father carried something in his chest for 30 years without a moment's rest. From the weight of it, a thing he did when he was young that closed the lid on someone's trust, and he had meant to say he was sorry, but the years got in the way. Keep carrying. Some apologies outlive the wound, therefore. He told me once when I was old enough to hear it said the years had made it rough around the edges, but the center stayed as sharp as the original. He had made a mistake, a young man's careless act that cost another person something cracked that never fully healed. He said he drove past the person's house for years and wove around the block, unable to go in. The apology is pulling me under. I can hear the 30th thunder. He circled the house for decades in the car, never close enough and never too far. Say it for me through the window. Sorry, Carrie, door, circle. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry, Carrie, door, circle. Sorry, sorry. Sorry, Carrie, door, circle, circle. Sorry, Carrie, door, circle, circle. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry, sorry, Carrie, door. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry, sorry, Carrie, door. Sorry, Carrie. Drive, stop, drive, no. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry, Carrie. The person died before my father did, by 7 years, and with it went the lid of something he had held for 30 years. He sat beside me in the car in tears, said now it has nowhere to go. He said the apology is heavy and now they're dead. Then when there was a door it could have entered, said grief without a door is just uncentered weight that has no place to put itself down. They say the dead release the guilt they carry, but my father carried his beyond the door it needed. I do not need the apology something in his chest. For 30 years without a moment's rest, driving past a door he could not enter, carrying a sorry with no center. He told me in the car, the year they died, the apology with nowhere left to hide. Leave your mark, we are still circling. The house is still there, the door is still closed. The street remembers every time he drove around it. The morning that my mother forgot his name, the house went quiet in a particular shame. That was not shame, exactly moral code, recognition that the story being told by her memory was skipping pages now. We stood around the table wondering how, keep remembering. Some names are the last thing the mind releases. She knew his face, she knew his hand, she knew the weight of him beside her and the view from their bedroom window and the smell of his particular soap, and could tell you every year they spent together, every child they raised, but the name went very quietly. That Tuesday at the table, she reached for it and found herself unable. The name is pulling me under, I can hear the forgetting thunder. She held his face, she held his hands, his smell, but the word that was his name began to fail. Say it for me. At the table, name, reach, forget, hold. Name, reach, forget, hold. Hey. Name, reach, forget, hold. Name, reach, forget, hold. Oh, oh, oh. Name, reach, forget, hold. My sister said it softly filled the gap. The name came back to her just like that. A word returning to a mouth that knew it. Once and always what she said, she drew it back from somewhere just beyond the reach of Tuesday morning ordinary speech. She said it twice as if to check it fit. The face she had kept perfectly lit inside her, even as the word went dark. They say the mind releases what it cannot hold, but my mother kept his face and the name went. I do not need the name to stay forever, I only need my sister. Saying it softly at the table, softly at the table. Trust the face behind the name. The morning that my mother forgot his name, oh, the house went quiet in a particular shame. That was not shame, but a recognition code of a story losing pages as it's told. My sister said it soft and it came back, the name returning to its rightful track. Leave your mark, we are still saying it. The table is still his, the name is still there. The mouth remembers every morning it was spoken in. grandfather had one word he used for everything he loved, a word confused by none of us as ordinary speech. It was his word alone, beyond the reach of any dictionary, any tongue. He used it for the sunset and the young. Keep saying, some words belong to only one mouth. He said it when the bread came out exactly right. He said it for the dog, said fatly. Nothing more, just that one syllable. Whenever something moved him to the full extent of what he felt, we heard it said. For sunsets, for the grandchildren, for bread, for the smell of rain, for a joke that landed, for a view from a hill, for the heavy-handed luck of finding something lost for years. The word is pulling me under. I can hear the syllable thunder. One sound he used for everything he loved, a private language nobody else could shove. Say it for me one more time. After he was gone, we caught ourselves using it, reaching up to the shelves of language for the right response to something beautiful, and finding his word coming out before we knew we had it in us. My mother said it for the morning luminous, and stopped and looked at her own mouth as if a bird had flown in from the south of somewhere she had thought was closed forever. They say the dead release the words they carry, but his word passed into every mouth that loved him. I do not need to know what language made it. I only need to hear it come out of my mother at the window. Out of my mother at the window. Trust the one syllable. My grandfather had one word he used for everything he loved, a word confused by nobody as anything but his. The sound of what belonging always is. My mother said it at the window in the morning, not knowing it was coming without a warning. Leave your mark, we are still saying it. The window is still his, the syllable is still warm. The word remembers every beautiful thing it was ever used for. Ooh. Ah, yeah. that needed nothing. My uncle stood outside ironing something invisible between his palms, the air. My sister counted tiles upon the stair. Keep moving. Some hours can only be survived by doing. The hearse was coming at 11 sharp. My father in a box, the whole shop. Edge of that particular knowledge, sitting in the room with us while we were fitting ourselves into the close of the occasion. Each button a small act of persuasion that the body could continue dressing, when the mind had given up at guessing how 11 was supposed to arrive. Oh, the hours pulling me under. I can hear the 11 thunder. Nobody knew where to put their hands in the last hour before the hearse commands, wait for me before 11 comes. Drank 4 cups growing cold beside the rank of coats along the hallway, waiting 2 for 11, and the thing that 11 would do to all of us forever after that. We stood around the cooling cups and sat with our hands around the warmth of them, not drinking, just holding just the stem of something ordinary in an extraordinary hour. They say the dead release the hours around their going, but that hour before 11 held us all. I do not need the funeral to be different. I only need the cold tea and the ironing and the counting, the ironing and the counting, the ironing. Trust the hour before the funeral. Nobody knew what to do with their hands or body, moving through the motions just to move, finding in the doing some kind of groove. Oh, my brother made 4 cups of tea we never touched, holding on to warmth that did not help us much. Leave your mark. We are still holding the cups. The hallway is still full. The 11 is still coming. The hour remembers every hand that did not know what to do. My father dragged a canoe to the same lake every August without fail, for the sake of something he could not name but needed. Every year the invitation heeded from a stretch of water that had known him since before the family had grown him. Keep dragging some lakes, remember who belongs to them. The canoe was old, the hull was patched in 7 places, every patch dispatched by his particular particular hand a different color. Each repair making the boat fuller of his presence than the original would. He said a patch boat is a boat that's understood its own weakness and kept going anyway. Said he respected that about the way. The lake is pulling me under. I can hear the August thunder. Every year the same stretch of the water. He dragged the canoe to like a father drags his children toward what matters most. Canoe, lake, August drag. Canoe, lake, August drag. Canoe, canoe, lakes, lake, August, August drag, drag. Lake, August drag. Canoe, canoe, lake, lake, August, August drag, drag.
Canoe, lake, August drag.
Yeah.
Canoe, lake, August drag.
Patch hole,
Canoe, lake,
patch no,
August drag.
canoe, lake.
Canoe, lake.
Oh, we dragged it to the lake the August after. He was gone, the hole still full of laughter, and of patches full of every year. He had maintained it through the wear and tear of water we put in and pushed from shore. The same stretch of water as before. The lake received it like it always had, like a thing returning, not a thing gone bad.
They say the dead release the waters that they love.
But that lake kept his August in its surface,
I do not need him.
in the stern behind me. I only need the hook to find the water every year.
Find the water every year.
Trust the patch. Oh, my father dragged a canoe to the same lake every August without fail, for the sake of something the water knew and he knew too. A conversation only lakes can do. We dragged it out the August after he was gone. The lake received it and the dragon carried on. Leave your mark.
We are.
We are. We found it in the typewriter steel roll, around the plate and yellowed and grown old. 3 paragraphs and then a line half done. Mid-sentence like a race that was not run, to any finish just abandoned there. Inside the machine in the office chair, keep typing. Some letters are not meant to reach an ending. The brother it was written to had died 6 months before we found it, and inside the 3 complete paragraphs was something like an argument still running, jumping from one grievance to another, wrapped in language that suggested they had lapsed into silence long before the letter. Neither one of them had found it better to reach across whatever stood between. The letter is pulling me under. I can hear the typewriter My father read it standing at the machine. Said nothing for so long, the air turned clean of everything except the weight of two men in a silence neither of them knew how to cross until the crossing closed. He pulled the paper out and carefully composed it back into a fold and put it in the drawer beside the typewriter. And in all the years since has never spoken of it.
They say the dead release the words they left unfinished,
but that letter held its half a line for 30 years.
I do not need the sentence to be finished.
I only need to know he
Try to write it, try to write it.
trust the half a line. We found it in the typewriter still rolled around the plate and yellowed and grown old. 3 paragraphs of something almost said. A sentence stopped before it reached its end. My father folded it and put it in the drawer. Neither of them needed it anymore. Leave your mark, we are still mid-sentence. The typewriter is still there. The plating is still rolled. The letter remembers every word that almost followed. There is a path worn through the field behind the house that no one made with any mind to make it just a line of compressed grass where someone walks so often that the mass of all those footsteps bent the ground into a permanent and wordless avenue. Keep walking, some paths are made before the walker knows. Every evening late, from the back door to the broken gate, at the far end where the field meets the lane, he walked it dry, he walked it in the rain, he walked it when the light had long since gone, just following the path by feel alone. Said the feet remember even when the eyes cannot find the ground beneath the sky. Is pulling me under. I can hear the compressed grass thunder. Every evening in the dark or light, his feet remembered what his eyes lost sight. Walk for me across the field tonight. Path, field, gate, worn. Path, field, gate, worn. Path, field, gate, worn, worn. One final time, the last morning before the fences went up straight, from the back door all the way to the gate. The grass had not grown back where he dead released the ground they walked, but that path held his evenings in the grass. I do not need the field to still be ours. I only need to know the path was there. The path was there. Trust the compressed grass. There is a path worn through the field behind, the house that no one made with any mind, pressed into existence evening by evening, by a man who needed somewhere for his leaving. We walked it one last morning, all of us, before the fences came without a fuss. Leave your mark, we are still walking. The gate is still broken, the grass is still bent. The path remembers every evening foot that found it. I grew up falling asleep to the sound of my father breathing through the ground. Floor ceiling between our rooms at night, a rhythm so consistent and so right, that silence when it came was louder than any noise the world had yet began. Keep breathing. Some sounds are the architecture of a childhood. I did not know I heard it until it stopped. The first night after he was gone, I dropped into a sleep that had no floor to it. A silence where the breathing used to sit, and woke at 3 convinced something was wrong, before remembering that all along the wrong was permanent and what was right was the breathing I had taken every night. The breathing is pulling me under. I can hear the nighttime thunder. Every childhood night was built around that particular and unremarkable sound. Breathe for me through the ceiling. Breath, room, night, through. Breath, room, night, through. Breath, room, night, through. Breath, room, night, through. Breath, room, night. Sleep here, sleep no. My son sleeps in the room beside me now. I hear him breathing through the wall somehow. The same unremarkable and steady sound that held my childhood to the ground. Some nights I lie awake and listen long to what I know will one day also be gone, and feel the weight of being the breathing on the other side for someone who is leaving childhood by the inch beneath my roof. They say the dead release the air, they move through us. They say the dead release the air, but my father's breathing held my childhood together. Oh, I grew up, falling asleep to the sound of my father breathing through the ground floor ceiling of my particular night. A rhythm I mistook for granted and for right. Ooh, my son breathes through the wall beside me now, and I lie awake and listen to him somehow. Leave your mark. We are still breathing. The wall is still thin. The night is still his. The ceiling remembers every breath that passed through it. Hey, 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 hey. Place unknown. My uncle sent a postcard every year from somewhere different, somewhere never clear. On the front, a landscape or a street, a market or a harbor or a fleet of boats, but never any caption said where exactly, and we never read. Keep sending. Some postcards are about the sending, not the place. The back was always brief, always the same. Structure a line about the weather came first, then something about the food, then sign with just his initial, nothing designed to tell us where he was or when he'd come back to us. He just wanted us to know from somewhere unrevealed that he was still alive and thinking of us from some hill or harbor that he kept entirely his. The postcard is pulling me under. I can hear the unnamed thunder. Every year a landscape with no name, just proof of life arriving all the same. Sent for me from somewhere far. Trying to remember the last landscape, the last initial sign, the last brief where the note, the last design, proof of life from somewhere with no name. 32 of them and then the same letterbox that swallowed them for years, swallowed only bills and swallowed only tears. From that November forward, nothing came. Letterbox is still his. The initial is still there. The postcard remembers every hand that turned it over. The last summer my father fell asleep in the garden chair, asleep so deep. We watched him from the kitchen window long before we understood that something wrong was not the word for it, more like a right. He had earned the afternoon delight. Keep watching. Some sleeps are worth the watching from a window. The garden held him in that particular way of late July spectacular and ordinary, both the bees still working. The roses he had planted never shirking from their task beside him, and his breath rose and fell so slowly close to death. In its peacefulness we did not know then that summer would not offer him again an afternoon as full as that one was. The garden is pulling me under. I can hear the July thunder. We watched him sleep from the kitchen glass, not knowing it was the last of the last. Sleep for me in the afternoon light. Sleep, garden chair, watch. Sleep, sleep, garden chair, watch. Sleep, 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 garden chair, chair, watch. Sleep, sleep, garden chair, chair, watch. Sleep, garden, sleep, sleep, garden, sleep, garden, sleep. Breathe, still breathe, no sleep garden. I have a photograph of him in that chair. Somebody took it from the kitchen there, behind the glass without knowing it. His head to one side in the particular sit of someone fully given to the rest of an afternoon that offered him its best. Light and warmth and bees and roses and the absolute surrender of a man who had earned the right to sleep in his own garden.
They say the dead release the summers that they slept through.
But that afternoon held him so completely.
I do not need the summer to come back the same.
I only need the photograph above the kitchen window.
Above the kitchen window.
Trust the afternoon light.
Above the kitchen window.
Trust the afternoon light. The last summer my father fell asleep in the garden chair, asleep so deep, giving himself to July without a care. The bees and roses keeping him there. Oh, I keep the photograph above the kitchen glass, watching him sleep in a summer that is past. Leave your mark, we are still watching.
The cherry's still there.
The July is still his.
The garden remembers.
Every afternoon it held him.